Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, assalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are here again we are looking at the mystery of fasting in the month of Ramadan, where last few days we spoke about how fasting has got to do with patience. And inshallah, in this segment that we are joining together, we are going to talk about how Imam Muhammad bin Muhammad al-Ghazali mentioned about fasting in a way that we can practice in the month of Ramadan. And al-Ghazali described the three classes of fasting, where somehow we are going to touch on it in this session, where we can put this action of fasting in our daily days or activity, where we can emphasize on how we can enhance our fasting ability. So Imam Ghazali mentioned that the three classes of fasting are: first, the common people. It's known as the fasting of awwam, or the fasting of the elect. And the third one, the fasting of the elect, which is khusus. So these three types of fasting is adaptable, definitely, but it needs some understanding so as to we approach our fasting time doing what we have to do in the way that Imam Ghazali mentioned in the three stages. You can see how we fast in these three stages, where you can position yourself in which category or in which class you are at. So the first level consists in keeping the stomach and private part from satisfying their desire. So representing the most basic level of fasting, this is something which is normally what the people do. Yani, he keeps on not eating from dusk to dawn, or from dawn to dusk, and then he keeps on not doing anything which has got to do with eating and drinking, and then to stop himself from satisfying his sexual desire. And this is based on the fiqh, or the very basic fiqh, the very basic fiqh assignment for you to fulfill the fasting. So the more demanding one is the second level, bringing it more into facet and sensory world. The fasting of the elect, which is the second class, consists in keeping the hearing, the sight, the tongue, hands, feet, and all the other members of the body from sin. The alert level is being lifted up. So this is what it is meant by the fasting of the elect. And then the third one that Imam Ghazali mentioned here is the fasting of I would say the fasting of the elect. In Arabic, it's known as khusus. So Al-Imam Ghazali deemed this third as the loftiest level, and as the fast similar to the prophets and those who are near to God. So this third level, the fasting of the elect involves the heart fasting from worldly concern and mundane thoughts, and completely refraining his mind from focusing anything except or other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is our conversation. We are going to talk about how Imam Ghazali placed these three classes of fasting, and how we can choose one of these classes in order for us to be acting upon our fast in this coming Ramadan. Or perhaps how we can do the fasting is such that we can allocate ourselves to try and put in either of these three categories. So again here, the first one emphasizing only on the shurut in the condition of validating your fast, which is not drinking, not eating, and not having intercourse with your spouse in the time of fasting. And then the third one is a little bit steep, a little bit higher, the one that concentrate on the sensory that you have. You have your eyes, you take care of it, you refrain it from doing anything that's got to do with sin, and then you refrain your hands, you refrain your ears from doing sins, and so forth. And the third one, which is the class that I just mentioned just now, is completely refraining the heart, yeah, and the thoughts, the mind, and completely refrain from any sin, but focusing it on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I would like to emphasize here that when you look at the number two class, we are looking at lots more sensory. You are looking at the sense of seeing, sight, hearing, and then doing, and so forth. There are more than these two things, which is heart and mind, when we are looking at the third class, which is the class of Anbiya, the class of Awliya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These people, they practice their fasting doing these two things, of course, adding it to the second one and the first one, refraining from eating and drinking, sexual intercourse, and taking care of the sensories, and also doing this fasting of mind and heart. Now, it's very interesting that the mind and the heart, it's very sensitive in a way. It's the most sensitive part in your body. And when we're looking at heart, when looking at mind, these two things, it actually how would I say? I want to put it as something which is the beginning of any acts of sin will go through, will pass through the heart and the mind. Therefore, before anything else comes in, Imam Ghazali, in his theory, in his understanding, or in this class that he mentioned, the mind and the heart is where a person must stop at. Meaning to say, when you start to think of something which has got to do with the sensories, the 5 or the 6 or the 7, I suppose, in a person's body, refrain it from doing anything, it will come in through the heart first or the mind first. So therefore, this emphasis on taking care or refraining from having other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the mind and the heart is very important. And that one comes in from what I discussed last week, which is patience. How you exercise the patience and amplify it inside this what we know as the strength of fasting. So training oneself to exercise mastery over thoughts, whim, and inclination demands an individual who is conquering their lower self. And this is part of being patient here. So this goes beyond outward act of worship and stopping the outward acts of disobedience with the arena of becoming one's inner world. Critical note here is that it is important to think of this battle even being attempted while the first two of Imam Ghazali's stages have not been completed. So this can only occur when the basic condition of fasting are met, which is the two level before the khusus that we mentioned. So its deepest meaning is to focus our entire aspiration to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to turn away from what is other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Glory be to Him. And to be completely enveloped by the meaning of His word. So therefore, the spiritual side of fasting here is very important in order for you to begin with other activities of good deeds like reading the Quran and doing voluntarily work and so forth, dhikr, and doing more salah and so forth. So it is important that these two places where it enters, the heart and the mind, are cleansed in a way, I would say. So al-Ghazali's highest level of fasting is a journey in channeling one's cognitivity and cardiac energy towards divine. So turning them away from the worldly in attempt to gain proximity to God. So this insightful stages, I would say, is even more increased in light of age and unprecedented distraction. You see that this present moment where we are at this time and space, we are exposed to ghaflah. I think the thing that somehow disturb us in a way to do, or distract us in a way to do all acts of worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this segment, as I mentioned, the three stages of al-Ghazali is where we can look into, on where we can practice in order to exercise our fasting to be a better one. And inshallah, I will end here. The next week, I'm going to talk about how the key aspect of fasting and character categorize an aspect of how we can enhance in 6 points. So this is also in Imam Ghazali's book of Ihya. He mentioned about 6 points where we can look into, and it can enhance our fasting ability, inshallah. So while doing that, inshallah, I will stop here. We will talk about the 6 point of attention we are going to touch on next week, inshallah. Till then, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.